Hello, beautiful people. This is one of my family's favorite when I get a chance to make it, Kubbeh. I soaked 1.5 pounds of burgul, the fine burgul, and I added 3 pounds of extra lean ground beef. And I have 2 heads of onion that I really pureed on the food processor, like 2 medium-sized heads of onion. All right, so I'm gonna add the seasonings. I start with salt. I'm gonna add maybe 1.5 tablespoons to start, and I'll taste later. Pepper, maybe 1/2 tablespoon. Allspice, 1/2 teaspoon. Cumin, 1 teaspoon, and I come back and taste. Mardakosh or marjoram, 1 tablespoon. I'm gonna start kneading all of this together, and then I will taste. Make sure salt, pepper, cumin, marjoram, and allspice all taste good. Make it perfect. This is gonna take at least 10 minutes to make sure everything is mixed together. I added little more cumin, allspice, and salt after I tasted it. So I'm gonna make sure I keep kneading until it's all mixed really well, homogeneous, and we can work with it to make the Kubbeh balls. Smells so good. Wow. The cumin and the marjoram smell amazing. Work really well. So I got the petite sirloin steak. It's really lean, and I trimmed it all, and I cut it to small cubes, small pieces. So I added some of the ghee or clarified butter I made at home, and I added all the cut meat right there. So I'm just gonna stir regularly and let it cook until all the water dries out. In the meantime, I would cut the onions. I have a whole bunch of onions, 5 large onions that I'm gonna cut dice, basically small, and then when the beef cooks and the water dries out, I would add the seasonings and then the onions. As you can see, the water dried out. It's time to add the seasonings to it. So I add salt. And of course, it's all to taste. And I add pepper. And of course, allspice. And I added just a touch of nutmeg. So I'm just gonna mix it all together, then add the onions and let it cook until the onions are translucent. So I mix it all together, stir regularly with the onions. And I wanna make sure the onions are really well done. It takes about 10 minutes. And then I will just, so it looks like that where the onions are not really showing too much. And now I'd like to add some pine nuts to it. So I add a little bit of ghee and I stir to roast it until it's light golden brown, and then add it to the beef mix. Now it's time to make the ball shape and stuff it. So it looks somewhat like a football. And I core each piece of them, try to make them the same size, and then stuff it with a big teaspoon of the stuffing and shape it. I have ice water usually next to me, so I dip my fingers in ice water and smooth it out. This time I soaked the burgul for only 2 hours. So I think if I soak it for like at least 4 hours, the outside shell will be a lot smoother. So it's quite involved, labor intensive, but made with love. So what I'm doing, I'm freezing some of them to fry later, and I'm just gonna fry a little bit. So I put them on parchment paper and stack them like this. I don't want them to touch when I freeze them because they get stuck together. And I would freeze them for maybe 4 hours at least, or sometimes I keep them until the next day when they really freeze and harden, and then I put them in Ziploc bags and put them back in the freezer again. So I fried some of them, just a few to try. They're so good, especially when they're fresh. They're best with mensaf or any appetizers, like you can have salad and baba ganoush and all the appetizers. It's good with anything. It's even good by itself for lunch. Well, it's good to have the oil heated to about 350 degrees, so you don't want it too hot because it burns it from the outside and it doesn't get done from the inside. So you want to look for that kind of balance. Now here I'm showing you when I got them out of the freezer. I'm just putting those in a Ziploc so I can freeze them again. Look how they're all nice and hard. You can see I made a few. I filled another bag too, other than the ones I fried. There you are. They go in the freezer. You can keep them for a couple of months and then take them out and fry them right away when you need them. Enjoy. صحتين وعافية.